Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, March 30th. I'm going to do my best on this video, and I'm going to just tell you up front, yesterday was not a good day. Something happened yesterday, and it kind of got my attitude all messed up for this weekend. And I'll go over that a bit at the end of the video if you want to hear that. But like I said, if you hear my tone a little bit off today, just bear with me. I'm trying my happy face on right now for all of you. What we're going to talk about today is barely legible business card. Actually, we're going to talk a lot of things, but first up is going to be this one, and that's because current price 73 of these available. Actually, I should do this in this bigger one. Hold on. This one's kind of small just because that's how it is. But if you use this one over here, you can see it's a lot better. Just visually for all of you, you can see this. 75 currently available, 468,566. If I do this, where I take this price off, you can see 111,000. Now, after the video I made, like hour, 2 hours later, and trust me, what I mean by this is I'm not saying that my video had anything to do with this at all. I'm not like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's just it gives you a clue into the time when this started happening. After that video came out, if you remember seeing it 1 to 2 hours later, people were jacking this up. There was like 31 left available. I think the lowest was like 400,000. It was something crazy. So as you could see from yesterday over here, you're going to see 39 lowest prices, an average of 714. So obviously the supply has gone up. People may have had it in their safety deposit box and took it out, and some people may have been able to get it. By the way, I'm going to come back to this. This is interesting. This is nothing bad, by the way. Whitefish Gaming. So it's something I just wanted to talk about. It's about like the different worlds that we're in that way. So I'll come back to this. It's interesting. If you've never seen his channel, it's pretty interesting, actually. I like hearing about the different stuff he talks about. So going back over here, it's interesting to see what's going on with the prices, and also the boards. That's what I was going for. Here we go. Boards. I got thrown off by talking about whitefish. So here we are. This is the boards. This is the thing that I made yesterday. Remember, I was like, "Oh, I got zero. How about you? Let's get rich." I did that for fun, but this is, in a way to get some kind of information. So a lot of these people, I think every single one of them got zero. Some can't even fight the guy. I'm still training up a Battledome pet, and this one I can't even fight him on easy, so none. And then some didn't even realize that you had to fight him on at least medium to get it, right? Medium and hard. So yesterday and today, zero. Lots of nerks though, fighting on medium, but I might switch to hard. Don't know if it affects the odds, but at least I'll get more Neo points. For more data though, yesterday I got one Wraith Pocket Lint and one Wraith Mirror from the Challenger exclusive pool. That seems like it's a lot, right? Two exclusive items, but remember what I said, you have a 33% chance there's three of them that could potentially drop. So we shall see. We shall see. Let's see how many people actually do it, because it's worth them. It's worth getting and reselling this, of course, obviously. But because nerf mids have gone down, code stones, I don't know what they're doing. I feel like they should be up higher because we're not getting them as much, but who really knows? So there we go. Barely legible business cards. Interesting. By the way, this is also interesting out here on Jelly Neo. And what I mean by that is you could see, where's this guy? Bacon. Bacon. It seems Premium is doing poorly enough that the Neopets team is trying to bring back artificial scarcity and FOMO fun. And then also down here, I think they overestimated the possibility of the brand and saw nostalgia as potential customers when a lot of people just want to say, "Oh, I bet my Neopets are dead" on social media and move on. Maybe revisit some of the cute old art, but not rejoin the website or engage with anything new. And I say that because you have a reply from the Jelly Neo staff. Honestly, that's just not even true. More people are playing Neopets today than have been in probably the past 5 to 10 years. The media blitz after the ownership change really brought people back. is selling out quicker than they expected despite all the complaints about price. We keep seeing the highest traffic here at Jelly Neo we've seen in the same time frame. So there, that tells you about like what's going on with the Neopets website if you were all wondering. So I just saw that in the comments and I thought that was interesting, something to bring up. And I am pretty sure as I sit here that the Fair Employment Agency is going to update rather shortly here. See if we get anything. Yeah, and after this, I'll just talk about Whitefish Gaming real quick. Because my wife was asking me about these Neopet videos, and it kind of led into my bad day yesterday about what happened. So, okay, nothing good popped up. Brr, I'm gonna go back here to Whitefish Gaming. So the interesting part about Whitefish Gaming is he talks about a different kind of side of Neopets. Again, if you've never seen it, it's interesting to hear. And I have nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. So please don't get that, don't think that way. Over here, it's interesting because it's like it talks about TNT like staffers. I'm gonna say the name. Obviously, you can see it on the screen. Staffers, the current thing going on with the prices, bans, cheaters, botters, scammer alerts. It's pretty interesting to see. Like the last video he did right here. Let's be clear about Zingen. I don't even know who that is. I have no freaking clue. And then like the thing about the affiliates, it's interesting to see a different side of Neopets. And I already knew, like, I've played for so long. I was a restocker back in my day. That's how I made all of my lots of money. Lots and lots of money on uh, virtual Neo points, not actually like taking it and selling it. I didn't do any of that stuff. I would never do any of that stuff. But it's interesting to see all of this just because it's like I knew it existed and I just dealt with it, right? I just moved on with my life because there are basically two worlds on Neopets. The one where you're like over here. Let me just show you this. Like imagine Neopets. Right? This is the Neopets I think about right here. This like little happy land of Neopets where I'm just going around hanging out with my pet. Well, it's gray right now, but you imagine with this thing with color. I'm over here just going stopping off at the post office, taking a look at the rainbow pool, checking out the money tree, getting a little pet for my Neopet, and just perusing the different shops, just enjoying my time, customizing my dudes and gals over there. Okay, that's the Neopets world. And then you have this world right here, this other planet where like all these seedy things happen, horrible things happen, bots, greed. It's amazing to see, and I always tell my wife about the stock market. Do you know? Interesting enough, how the stock market actually works. Like, and this is to prove my point here. The stock market, when you really think about it, people when they think about okay, let me just say Apple. You think the stock of Apple is reflected by like the news that's currently out there, how well it's doing as a company. That's how the stock market they tell you how that price works, right? Like, but if you really think about it, if the stock market was actually that way, where it is here's a graph of the stock market, and here's Apple. Like the only time it should ever go up and down is when there's news. So in the current day, every day should look like this for a stock. But how come like stocks actually look like this? Yeah, right. Like it looks like that. It goes up and down. It goes up and down. Like why does it do that? It's because it's not just buying and selling. There's other things that happen. People manipulate the stock market all the time, and that's what I'm saying. Like my version of Neopets is this. This is me. This is me right here. This straight line where Whitefish Gaming talks about like all this other stuff that happens. Like he's the jagged line that's going on right there, an actual stock market. That's basically what it is. Because the if you don't know, stock market doesn't work by just buying and selling. That's not it. People have different strategies which pushes a stock up or down. They literally manipulate the stock market. It's crazy when you really think about it. Everybody's thought when you're growing up is just like, oh, just go, you just buy low, sell, buy low, sell high, all of that, and it should go up if something good really happens in the stock market or to that company. But that's not actually how that all works. It's when you get deeper down into it, you'll understand. But that's my point. It's like we have this happy version of Neopets, or we just live in life on here, and then there's that other side, the dark side. It's like traveling downtown into like a dark alley. Oh boy, or the Matrix. You could use that too. My wife didn't watch the Matrix, so I had to I had to try to explain that to her. It was interesting. Interesting. But let's do our dailies here and then get through it. So I think that's all the news I had. It's basic. Oh, let me do the Battledome. Let me just can I even find the Battledome? You know what? I'm just gonna take one of these windows here and go to the Battledome. I like how I picked this one and then it's all gray. Okay, let's do the Battledome. Let's fight this guy on the hardest possible and see what we get. Vulcan Wraith, buddy. Yeah, I always find that interesting, the dark side of it. I do that on my I will say my Why Schwartz channel, where I talk about the dark side, where people are like ripping each other off and all. Oh, Wraith pocket lint. That's not what I needed, but I got some pocket lint. So interesting enough, if you really think about this, it's if you wanted to make that item worth the most as possible, you sell into someone buying out. So this is the point. For all of you people that love trying to manipulate the market or make them sell your item at the highest possible. Here's what you do. You watch, and if you have a premium, wait for a buyout to slowly happen, and then you put your item out, right? Like someone moved it to 400, 500,000 yesterday. So in that time period, that's where you just put your one out, you sell it, and you make the most. Because like right now, 100. Do you want to be the guy buying up all those and hoping that you can control the market? I guess you could try, but I don't think so. I would not stick my neck out in this one because you don't know how many people have in the safety deposit box, especially since as shown yesterday with the price history, somebody was buying it. So somebody has a bunch of these, unless they already dumped them out. The other thing is, if this guy were to rotate and there's not enough supply of these business cards, then once he's gone, obviously it's going to make people want to buy it. Just FOMO into the sucker. So that's your other opportunity. But that's only if they don't increase the drop rates and then people get enough of this stuff. So it really just depends on what side you want to gamble on, how vigilant you are about watching for a potential buyout, and at the same time hoping that if you do keep it the whole time, that there's not a huge amount of supply of this when it comes. And there's the other side where it may not even rotate out. Neopets may just go, you know what? Just because of everything happening, how this price has gone up, they may not choose to rotate them. They could just leave them. They could rotate the other challengers out. So that are the different things that you're dealing with. Obviously, the better one would be, I think, selling into someone's buyout. Right, like someone's trying to actively buy it out. You put it there, they'll have no choice but to buy the thing from you because they're trying to go for it. And that's how you do it. So if you're watching and the 100,000s just kind of disappear, and you start seeing like a lot of them then disappearing, then yeah, that's what you do. For me, I only have one, so I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to hold on to mine. But realistically, probably the best thing to do is to sell because as time goes by, people are going to get it. As you saw with the supply, yesterday with that 39 that I had, and today like 73, if I can remember correctly, just about 10 minutes ago, about 73 there. All right. Oh man, give me one. Give me one. To be sad if I don't get one. I got stupid lint. But my thoughts on this again is like you probably should see this every 3 days, like one per 3 days is my guess. Yeah. Okay, because yesterday I got the mirror, today I got the lint, and no freaking business card. What do I get? One Nerk mid, two Merkin, two Nerk mid, What did I say? Merkid. I got 2 Nerkmids and 1 Pocket Lint. That is not good at all. That is terrible, actually. But let me go back to my own board. Here it is. Today, I fought on hard and got 2 Nerkmids and one Lint. 1 Lint. I just make sure because Wraith Pocket Lint. I'm gonna paste that. No business card. All right. There we go. Bump, bump, bump. There we go. That's up. That's a little bit sad. Just a little bit sad. I could have used the extra 100,000 that this thing would give, but that's all right. Moving on with my life. Got to do that. So, what time is it? Oh, shoot. I missed the Faerie Employment Agency by like a couple seconds. Darn it. If I did not fill in that battle, that board, I would have been able to make it. But it's okay. I'm gonna just assume that there was nothing good in there. It's just better to tell myself that. Yeah, today's tax day. I gotta do the budget, I gotta do the monthly budget, and then I gotta do taxes. That's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be a long day. But I will tell you this. This is why I was mad yesterday. So I'm done with all the news on Neopets. Um, but why I was mad is this. So this is my cat channel. And here are my cats. So this is, remember when I told you that my cats are sitting on the like in the basement and there's a window open. I might not have showed you a picture, or maybe I did, but this is actually it. So you see this right here. So eventually I opened up this window so that they right here they could stare out said window and just look at all the different birds and animals. And one of the things they happened to see was a rabbit. And this rabbit was really cool. It was building a nest in my garden box. I have a garden box. I have pictures. Sucks that there's this swirling thing happening here. Let me just go back and hit play, and then maybe it'll stop swirling. There it is. All right, so there's this rabbit here, and I love rabbits. My grandma used to, um, you know, take care of rabbits. We would be able to play with them, so I love them. There's nothing I could ever say bad about a rabbit. And yesterday, like, so I saw this rabbit early in the week. My girls are watching. It was just sitting there. It was awesome. Build a nest in my garden. And for a couple days, we didn't see the rabbit. And yesterday, my wife called me out. She was like, "Hey, you have to see this right now." I'm like, "What?" And then I go and check out, and the rabbit was against our house, and it was dead. It was dead. Like it was probably dead for, a couple days, 1 day, 2 days, maybe. I don't know, but it was dead. And the reason for it, like as I got closer and closer to it, was because it had a bite on its back of its leg. There was something that bit it. And I was like, I got super pissed because I know exactly what bit it. It was that my neighbor's dog. They have this huge dog they let unleashed, and it runs around all over the place, and it's the only thing that goes into my yard, like outside of me and my wife. That's the only thing that runs around in our yard. The neighbor always apologizes because it goes in their yard, and they always try to clean up all the poop that they see. Like basically all. The only time they don't is when they literally can't see it. Like sometimes he just poops maybe in a place that they can't see. But my whole point is this: I love rabbits, and they killed my rabbit. It's not my rabbit, but it is a rabbit. So then I had to check out the nest to see if there was any sort of babies in there, and luckily there was none, because obviously they would be all dead because if this rabbit was dead for a few days, then the babies would have been dead, and I'd be even more pissed off. So, yeah, like yesterday, if you listen to my video, I was talking about Super Size Me 2 at the end about how the chickens only have 6 weeks to live. And I was saying, like value your life, enjoy your time and all that. And like I was all happy and stuff. And then I see this dead rabbit, right? Something that was just enjoying its life, just peacefully living, was potentially going to have babies real soon. Like I don't know if it was pregnant. I have no idea. But all I know it looked like it was chased down, it was bit, it was shooken around because there was a bunch of fur. Like whatever got it didn't even bother eating it. So it was just all you saw was the bite mark on the back of it, and I'm just beyond pissed. I was that ruined. my entire weekend. I was trying to let it go, but I think about like the loss of life and for what? Like you didn't even eat it. Like and what I mean by that is, circle of life thing, you get picking it could have been picked up. Man, I can't even say it right. Picked up by a bird and fed like a nest of birds, right? Okay, fine, whatever, circle of life. But this is just a something toying with a rabbit. Like it died for no good reason. Right? Not that I want the rabbit to feel like it's being chewed on. No, I don't want that either. Like, as it's dying. I don't want that to happen either. But it's very frustrating to think about, like, just because some idiot leaves their dog running around the yard unleashed as an animal had to die. That really pissed me off. Like, just to no end. And we had to deal with it. Like, the sheer fact that we had to even go, like, I wish I could have seen it. But there, from the viewpoint of my house, like, I just showed you this, my girl's looking out the window. It was like against the house, so I couldn't have seen it. And like in my mind, right? If I if I could have seen it, I would have taken it to a vet or, surgery, whatever. I would have taken it to a hospital to like get taken care of if I could have seen it, but I couldn't see it from unless I actually walk outside. So that sucked. Sucked real bad because I would have did anything. And now I'm like thinking about like I have the money to do this, to get a fence, cameras, whatever, but no matter what, in the end, it's not going to matter if this thing is just going to still run around. I cannot put a giant freaking fence around my entire house, right? Like you can't do that. As in, here's my house, and then there's a driveway. It's not like you can put a fence literally around the entire thing. It's not how it is. Normally, it's like here's the front, you know, front with the driveway, and then normally you could do a fence like this, so I can block the dog from running back here. But of course, there's still bunnies. I've had bunnies make nests in the front of the house, like right here. Right? There's been plenty of times where because right here is where in the front, this area right here, there's a bunch of flowers and stuff. So they make nests inside of the flower bed. So it's just no matter what, if that dog is running around, I wouldn't be able to stop the bunnies from getting attacked still. Like I would need this version right here where the fence is 100% around, but that is not able to be done. You literally can't do that. So I am kind of screwed. I'm like, man, this is why it sucks sometimes to have neighbors. So that was my weekend. Sorry. So that if you could tell my tone was a little bit off today, it's just because I was talking this whole time about life and all that, getting sentimental about chickens, and then to find out the rabbit that we were watching this week, like literally died in my yard, and I didn't even know it for a few days. Like that's awful, freaking awful. And I could, potentially could have done something, but yeah, that's the ifs and what if. What if I could have seen it? I could have taken care of it and all that stuff. I would have helped raise that bunny too, if it even want to. I'd probably release it at some point, but just because it probably wouldn't want to stay in this house, but maybe it would after being attacked by a dog. Who really knows? But it's just sad. Just sad to see it like laid over dead, and then to think about potentially it having babies. But thankfully, it was just starting to build that nest. That's why it was sitting there. I don't know. Yeah, that's why it was sitting there. Basically, it was taking the grass from this area. That's why there's a huge divot and moving it over there because a lot of the nest I saw was a bunch of the longer grass that came from this area. It was a cute bunny too. It was very cute. So I was really sad by that. It was not. Yeah, yeah, not. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try and move on. Neopets dailies. All right. So yeah, very frustrating. Mm. Man, I love rabbits. This is so cool. I showed my I didn't show her the picture of it dying or anything, but or dead on the ground. But my hygienist, my friend, who's the hygienist, I talked to her about her a few times on these videos. She has a bunny too. Her bunny actually recently died. It was really sad, and then she got a new one, and she's doing better now with it. She's making it wear clothes. She put a dress on her body, and I'm like, what are you doing to it? I feel so bad, but it looked like a princess because it actually had like this frilly dress on. I'm like, oh my god, that's pretty cool. But I don't think I'd subject my animals to that. I do wear my cats. Sorry, I'm like stumbling on my words right now just because it's very frustrating. My cats here, I make them. They do have these bandanas, so that part is fun. But if you're wondering, this is my cat channel. Oh my god, I love these girls so much. Yeah, they hate wearing things in their head, so you can see that. You can see that right there. They hate it. We didn't buy this. My sister-in-law bought this and we put it on, and they were like, "Oh my god, get this off my head." So interesting. That's it. That made me feel a little better. Oh, I get a good one for you though. This made me feel better. I had to remember I told you about my car. Oh, look at this! I won. I think that's a lollipop, right? And then a codestone. But we went out to eat yesterday. Like we were driving around my car because I wanted to make sure my car would start. I had to charge it. Yesterday I told you about the car needing to charge it. So I was like, I'm gonna go on a long drive because if I ever want to go outside, I don't want my car not to start. So we went on a really, really long drive. My wife had to go get some sneakers. So the place where she wanted to get it was about 40 minutes away. So I had to drive all the way down there. But it gave, obviously my car a chance to charge. Like that long drive really took care of that. And then while we were driving to go out to eat, then what ended up happening was there is this section of road where it splits into two. Like the whole time, I'm really bad at this. I always imagine I draw better on paint, but then when I do it, it's not. So it's like this. It turns from one lane to two lanes, like this. So like that, left lane, right lane, obviously. But eventually it merges. The right hand side needs to merge into the left hand side. So there was two cars right here. Like I was in front of them. I was in front of them, like right here. And I could see what they were doing. They were doing the whole zigging and zagging and zigging and zagging, and they were speedy. Like obviously the miles per hour, the limit was 50. They looked like they were going like 70 in this 70 75, just bobbing and weaving in and out of cars. Right, there was other cars right here, so there was cars here, 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 and they were going in and out of them. And like you ever have those times when you're sitting there in traffic and you're like, God, I really wish there was a cop right now. Yeah, what ended up happening was there was actually a cop right here. There is no joke. There was a cop like waiting for them. Look at my car. I'll give it a little tailpipe. There we go. So here's the little sirens. Yeah, it actually happened. And the best part was the cop, he didn't go out right away. Like it was weird. It was delayed. So he was actually three cars behind. Like I saw him and I slowed down and all the other cars slowed down behind me. They probably didn't realize I was slowing down because obviously I am not getting in front of this cop like whatsoever. So the cop had two cars in front of him, and for whatever reason he didn't turn his like lights on right away. I mean he was calling people or something, but he came out, was behind two cars. Eventually, he turned on his lights so that those other two cars would eventually get out of his way. And then he actually ended up pulling both of these cars over, like at the same time. Because I was like, is he going to do that? I was like, me thinking in my mind, if I knew and I saw this cop, like if I was one of these two cars, I would have turned. There was plenty of like neighborhoods and stuff. I would have turned. And then it would be like, he'd have to choose which one to go after. He'd probably go after the guy that turned, but who really knows? But I would have honestly did that because they had so many chances to do it before he caught up. Like honestly, they had a good minute to decide what they were going to do. But yeah, he ended up pulling both over. So it was one of those moments that I was like, yeah, finally. Because you see people drive all crazy and they deserve to be pulled over. And oh dang it, I missed the employment agency again. That's how it's gonna be. Um, and it finally happened where it's just like, oh shoot, 28 to 10. Holy crap. Yeah, that made me feel better. And now even just going over it, it's making me a little bit better about that rabbit stuff. Let's see. Let us see. There's no doggo pick. I don't know what the deal is. Is it just mine? I think I have to log in. Let me I really want to see the doggo pick. I don't like that I can't see this. I had to log in. Okay, well, unfortunately I can't see said doggo pick. I wonder, can I see the code? View page source. Can I do this? And then he wrote RRR. Can I see like where this picture is? View source. Okay, well, I'm gonna try that a little bit later. You should see. I just wonder why it keeps breaking. I know people were saying yesterday that shops and images were being like broken on people's pet pages and shops. So don't know why that is happening. Yeah, I'll take a look later. I really want to see this picture. Not sure what's going on. And yesterday, I don't know about you all, but I couldn't get in the fairy fragments. Like it just kept loading. Hopefully, so now like I logged in, late at night. It just kept spinning. It wouldn't load, and I didn't get whatever prize it was gonna give me. So that's a little sad, especially because I'm trying to like, even though I got that plushie from fairy fragments, I'm still missing, completing out the rest of the prizes you get from the event. Missing that. I already did this. I still have to do that yet. And Decardia's Decardia. Decardia. I am I'm glad I'm up to date on the quest and I don't have to really worry. And it's nice that you only have to do 5 days worth of quest to get like all the prizes for the week. I mean, I missed out on the daily Neo points, but the thing with that Krabby roller just really annoyed me. And let's see, buddy. Let's see. What do we got? Nothing. Nothing. Race to riches. Yeah, so that was my yesterday. So again, I apologize if I sound oh my god. All right. I rather like I just wish they would just give me 6 blanks. I mean, you might as well do it. If you've gone that far to give me 5, just give me 6. I'm trying to do my I'm trying to put a positive spin on today, but with the budget and then doing taxes, it's gonna be a long one today, I tell you. But yeah, it's just the tragic waste of life. And again, coming from someone that eats meat, and I think about it, I'm like, man, I really should not eat meat. I really, it's just overall really sad, just in general. That's why I can't watch stuff like that. I don't know if I ever told you that, but I remember my brother in high school, he had to do, um, yeah, most people have to do that. You have to go through one of those bio classes where you have to dissect something. I never had to do that. Like as my partner, he really liked dissecting for some really weird reason. I mean, no, I don't want to say weird. I mean, people find it fascinating, right? You have all those crime shows where they do that stuff, autopsies and stuff. My guy was really into it to the point where he was like, "You don't mind if I do this, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." Like all for it. Like he didn't want to share or anything. Like I was his partner in spirit, basically. It was, well, on paper, I was his partner, but realistically, it was a one-man show. This guy did everything. I did not even have to pick up a knife, scalpel, whatever. Like he literally did it all. But my brother, when he saw that, he became a vegetarian for a month. Yeah, he literally became a vegetarian and all it was great. The only thing he ate was like pancakes. It was hilarious. It was he couldn't do it. He was like, I can't eat meat. And then my grandma's like, well, then what am I supposed to make you? And he was like, can you just make me pancakes so every day? Just eat pancakes. Yeah, he went on that the Canadian diet. I'm joking. I just say that because he would always put a bunch of maple syrup on it. That's why. It'd be a bunch of maple syrup on his pancakes, and he would do. I'm like, man, I can't imagine doing that. Like, I don't knock it if you want to be a vegetarian, not at all. I don't make fun of that. It's more just like, man, you could have picked something else to eat, like anything else outside of pancakes. That was brutal. This spooky land includes the Braintree and Esophager Play Corbett's Lab. That's going to be Haunted Woods. I was just thinking about Play Corbett's Lab. Does it mean, should there have been like a comma there? I have no idea. Haunted Woods, right? 500 Neopets. Dang, rich. Rich. All right, this time around, I'm not going to miss this fairy employment agency. I'm going to get it, I swear. If I don't get sidetracked by anything else, like trying to get this picture to come up. I really want to see the doggo pic. Okay. Let me place bets. Did I even? Crap, I didn't even. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. I only have a few minutes here, or a few seconds. Are we gonna do this? We're gonna get something magical. It's gonna be great. Yeah, that cop scene was just amazing to me. I wish I had like a dash cam or something to record it. I thought that would have been very funny, just because of all those other times where people have said, "Man, I really wish there was a cop around." And today was the day. This one's blueberry. I'm not doing this one. But is this one cheap? I feel like that should be cheap. Yeah, that was cheap. See, there's some really nice bread ones. Like this one, even though you're only going to end up with 11,000, like if you don't have a lot of time and this only costs under 400 Neo points to do, I mean, that's solid. That is a solid, because there's some other ones that are just super terrible, like when it comes to pricing. Okay. But by the way, let's see. 20, 48, 52. There's a 888. So it's a pretty decent day. Should be okay today. Nothing crazy gonna happen. Why is battle all right? I was like, why is Battle Magic not restocking? I need it. Need it now. Ooh, ooh. I didn't want to pay 952. Do you ever have that where you put too much money and then you go back and then the shopkeeper's arguing, saying you wanted to pay 900 something and now you're trying to make it 90, and then they're like, no, you're basically screwed. I hate when it goes through that loop. It is the worst thing ever. Especially if you've ever, like I said before, I restocked a lot back in the day. If it was some really good item, and then you're just done. You're done. You're screwed. You just get to watch as somebody else wins the prize that you're going for. Custom play feed. Custom play. Okay. I need to do custom play feed. Amit. All right, great. Go with this. Don't forget, as I mentioned before, the donation event towards September, I think. September, I think that's when it happens. Rarities. Remember, watch out. Make sure you stock up right now. Do it, because not people are going to do it eventually, and you are going to be screwed. And that's only if they keep up with the tradition of over 101s are the highest. But maybe they change that, right? Maybe this year they make it all 101s that are the highest. You never know what they're going to do. I guess it really just depends if people are going to be uh, buying it out ahead of time. Let's see. It's 79 still. I think it was 79 before. You search. Let me just hit this one more time. That lowest was 11. Oh, look at this. 90,000. This is coming down. This is coming down. But we shall see if somebody actually buys them all up. So right now, lowest 90,000 as of 9:03 Eastern time. Right. But actually 9:03, you know what that means? I can finally do it, people. I am here. And that means this dude, he's gonna blast me in the face. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That is unfortunate, but I already did the Battledome, so joke's on you, buddy. Joke's on you. Okay, well then, I think that is. I had to do this in the game and then collect and then check the boards one last time. Then I will bid you adieu. Adieu. Next week I'm gonna be. I cannot wait on Sunday next week. It's AEW wrestling. I don't know if anybody you're wrestling fans at all. Maybe not. Maybe so. But their pay per view is in Philadelphia, so I'm gonna be going to that. I don't ever like going into Philadelphia, but hey, I mean, sometimes you just gotta you gotta sacrifice a little. It'll be very exciting to see that. All right, quest log. What did I not do? Did I not feed? Did I just think about feeding and not actually do it? I thought I did. I probably just thought about, but oh, you can't eat. They're full. That's why. Right, you get fed. That's why. Okay, I didn't really I didn't read it. Reading is fundamental, apparently. All right, there it is. So I get some Earth Fairy broccoli this time. Groom. Goodstone. Money. Pea bubble bath. Money. Money. Broccoli. All right, give me my money. Give me my 20. And then I am 2 away. Nice, nice. That is very nice. Okay, and then boards. Let's see the boards. We got Boardland. General discussion. What is it? Things you miss from the 90s. Uh, Probably like food items. Probably food. Everything tie-dyed. What? I remember in college in the 2000, people were still had tie-dye on. So it's still there. Translucent plastics on tech. Bag milk. I miss a bag of milk. A solid bag. You ever have a bag of milk? I went to Catholic school and we had bags of milk. That's a thing in Canada. Bag of milk. Canada. But we had it here. I like it. I like it better actually. Uh, in school. Bag of milk. Yeah, the cool part, it was like this right there. It was like this little pouch of milk. And the best part is you have to hold it. You have to hold it down. Right here. You have to hold it down so an air bubble comes in here and you poke it right through the air bubble, because if you don't, it was funny. We had like a tutorial on this. Like we all do go to the cafeteria and they were like, okay, today we're switching from cartons to bags. And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, so you have to do this. So it's almost like you're being trained to give someone a shot. I know this is not how you actually give someone a shot, but at the same time, it's like, I just thought the piercing the skin on that. So you have to plunge your bag of milk to get the milk out, and that was pretty neat. It was a lot of fun. The fun part is if you don't actually do this, because if you can imagine, if you puncture this bag of milk, this thing is going to go shooting at you. So it's always funny to see someone like wearing their milk on their on their clothes during school. Just like, oh yeah, you didn't do it right, yeah. And then other people would just take these bags of milk and throw it at each other, and because it's in essence, it's almost like a water balloon in that way. Is it's just filled with milk this time. It's filled with the tasty treats. Yeah, that was neat. Some people would smuggle it home. I don't know why they'd smuggle it home, because I'm not sure if a cold bag of milk can make it to all the way when you get home to stay cold and fresh and good. So I think it probably did. I mean, people kept showing up back to school every day, so I'm assuming that it was okay now that I think about it. But yeah, bags of milk, interesting time. I actually like that a lot. So, oh wait, going back here, I also miss not having to pay bills. Yeah, yeah. When you grow up, taxes, have to work. You don't get your summers off. Those were the days. Those were the days, but not anymore. I was born in '92, so okay. Few classic '90s styles overall. Fashion, cartoon. Oh, the cartoons. Yes, the cartoons. Yeah, because now I turn on like weekend cartoons that they have on TV, and it is not anywhere close to where it should be. Garfield and Friend, Animaniacs. It was just so good. I miss all that. Yeah, the cartoons. Thinking about candy bars. I told you that before about Gatorade gum, cheese curl like planters, planters, cheese curls. One of my favorites. I don't know what year it was. It might have been the '90s, but these are one of my favorites. Planters, Plantiers. I wrote it wrong, but planters, cheese curls. One of my favorite. It's back. It came back and it's gone again. Gatorade gum. That was pretty nice too. Yeah, look at that. Gatorade gum. It works. It helps quench thirst. It was pretty tasty. I loved it. That it's gone. But again, I don't remember what year it was. I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s. Here you go. What year? Uh, did it come out? Mm-mm-mm. Gatorade. Oh wow, they made it in the 70s. Dang. That's crazy. Into the early 2000s. So yeah, it was I remember in the let's say the 90s because I don't and when I was in college, I don't remember seeing or thinking about gum. So to me it ended in the 90s. Yeah, good times. Okay, well that's everything. Holy crap, this video is 45 minutes again. So thanks so much for being here. If you made it all the way to the end, I guess I would say thanks to anybody that watched it, but obviously they can't hear it at this point because they already left. But thanks. Sorry, it was a little off day for me, but it makes sense. Like if you heard this story, it makes sense. But tomorrow is another day, and today is a day, some sort of a day. But tomorrow is another day, and it'll be a great week, I know. So I'll see y'all later. Hope you have a good Sunday. Bye.